In this video, you will learn how to make and use paper pots for transplant production. In the indigenous American system, it is desirable to keep something growing in the beds at all times. Some crops must be started from seed directly in the field, but plants that can be started in the nursery and transplanted when partially grown make better use of the growing season. They provide more production than if you had to wait for all of the plants to develop from seeds planted directly in the field. So there should be plants growing in the nursery all the time, ready to be transplanted as soon as one crop is harvested. The best containers for transplants are paper pots. They are low in cost and easy to make. These paper pots give an important advantage to the plants when they first set out in the field. The paper pots can be buried in the soil along with the plant, because the plant roots go right through the paper. This prevents damage to the roots during transplanting. Instead of needing time to recover from damaged roots, the plants immediately continue to grow. When set out in paper pots, the plants are healthier, earlier, and more productive. To set out the plants, just make a hole in the mulch and a hole in the soil. Insert the paper pot into the hole and pull the soil back over the pot, ensuring that no paper is left sticking out above the soil. That would create a wicking effect that would dry out the root ball, killing the transplant. Setting out plants in paper pots is fast and easy to do. The best containers for the transplants are paper pots. They are low cost and easy to make. These paper pots give an important advantage to the plants when they are set out in the field. The paper pots can be buried right in the soil along with the plant, because the plant roots grow right through the paper. This prevents damage to the roots during transplanting. Begin by cutting along the edge of the newspaper. Then, mark off each 7 1/4 centimeters along each side with a ruler. That's 73 millimeters. Then connect the marks to form guides for cutting the strips. This will give you 8 equal strips for each page. Cut the strips from the sheets. And then stack them to one side. They are now ready to be rolled into paper pots. If you're going to be making paper pots with the pages of a phone book, begin by cutting the pages away from the binding with a serrated knife. You can do this with scissors, but you won't be able to get the entire page. Now, measure off 3 equal strips. These again are 7 1/4 centimeters, that's 73 millimeters. The strips will be made into tubes with a rolling guide, which can be a piece of dowel, bamboo, PVC pipe, or even a small bottle of about 4 to 5 centimeters in diameter. I prefer the bottles. If you're right-handed, you will place the rolling guide 5 centimeters in from the right side of the paper. If you're left-handed, it will be 5 centimeters in from the left side. The part not covered by the guide is folded down to make the bottom of the pot. Okay, here's it is in slow motion. Roll the paper onto your guide the entire length of the strip. Then turn the guide up so that the loose paper is pointing up. Begin folding the bottom with the loose corner. Push it down against the guide with your finger. And then do the same on the opposite side to trap the loose edge. Then fold down both of the other sides. This closes the bottom. Hold the guide in one hand and twist the pot slightly while pressing upward. Then apply pressure over the entire bottom to ensure that it is securely formed with a sharp edge. This will prevent the bottom from opening as you fill it with soil. And then use the same twisting motion to take it off the guide. To fill the pot with soil, pour moist soil into the pot and press it down against the bottom. Refill with some more soil and press lightly down again. Then add a little bit more and smooth it down to make the surface level with the edge of the pot. Now we're going to plant some seeds. Press into the soil with a stick, pencil, or other object to form the planting hole the width and depth you want. You can plant seeds more shallow than the recommended depth if you keep the pots continually moist while they're in the nursery. Now you can drop in your seeds. I usually place 2 seeds in each hole unless the germination is really bad. Cover them with a little more soil and then press down lightly. If you plant multiple seeds like this and more than one germinate, you can transplant the extras when they're small into other paper pots. Here's an example. Cut all around in the soil so that you don't break any roots, and then lift from under the roots and then separate the plants. The hole for transplanted seedlings needs to be deeper, and it needs to be cone-shaped to give space for the roots. Place the seedling into the hole and gently press the soil around the stem. If the plants are large and well established, you can just pull the old pot apart and discard it. But you will need to use a different strategy for placing the plants into the new pots. Press some wet soil into the bottom of the pot to seal the bottom. Place the roots into the pot and pour slightly moist soil into the pot to surround the roots and stem. Press down all around the stem to center it in the pot. Then add more soil and press again until the soil is level with the top of the pot. Then you can water. Paper pots can be used to start annuals or perennials, and can be even used to start trees. Here's a tree. But since it will take longer for the trees to grow, you will need to transplant to larger containers before the paper falls apart. The process is the same, but it's bigger. Here's an example for you. You need to provide sufficient indirect sunlight to prevent the seedlings from elongating, and protect them from the rain, which can erode the soil in the pots. Forceful watering can also erode the soil so be sure to gently water with a watering can or something similar. I hope you have great success in making and using these paper pots. If you have questions, feel free to write me at agrimelnica@gmail.com. That's agrimelnica@gmail.com. And thank you for watching.